Ladies and gentlemen, good day everyone and welcome to Vipshop Holdings Limited second quarter 2020 earnings conference call. At this point, I would like to turn the call to Ms. Jessie Fan, Vipshop's Director of Investor Relations. Please proceed.
Thank you, operator. And thank you for joining Vipshop's second quarter 2020 earnings conference call. Before we begin, I will read the safe harbor statement. During this conference call, we will make forward-looking statements within the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995 that are based on our current expectations, assumptions, estimates, and projections about Vipshop Holdings Limited and its industry. All statements other than statements of historical fact we may make during this call are forward-looking statements. In some cases, these forward-looking statements can be identified by words or phrases such as anticipate, believe, continue, estimate, expect, intend, is or are likely to, may, plan, should, will, aim, potential, or other similar expressions. These forward-looking statements speak only as of the date hereof and are subject to change at any time, and we have no obligation to update these forward-looking statements. Joining us on today's call are Eric Shen, our co-founder, chairman, and CEO, and Donghao Yang, our CFO. At this time, I would like to turn the call over to Mr. Eric Shen.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining our second quarter 2020 earnings conference call. We delivered robust financial and operational results in the second quarter of 2020. Due to our solid execution on the merchandising strategy, in the beginning of May, we saw strong recovery in apparel demand and acted quickly to help our suppliers destock their inventories after COVID-19. We ran a successful promotion campaign in June, offering customers the best deal while helping our suppliers monetize their inventory more efficiently. During the quarter, total active customers grew by 17% year-over-year to 38.8 million from 33.1 million in the prior year period. In addition, our conversion rate and the customer stickiness both improved. In the second quarter, conversion rate for our app increased by 10% year-over-year, and the repeat customers as a percentage of total active customers increased to 90% from 87% in the prior year period. Looking into the second half of the year and beyond, we will continue to focus on enhancing the product offering on our platform, providing our customers with a differentiated experience as compared to other marketplace platforms. We believe we are well positioned to continue to gain share in China's discount retail market, delivering solid shareholder return over time. Lastly, today we announced that our CFO, Donghao Yang, will step down from his current position in November. I want to take some time to thank Donghao for his years of hard work and the contribution to Vipshop. Our board has appointed Donghao as a new non-executive director, effective on the day of the change of his position. We are delighted that he will continue to be the part of the Vipshop family as a member of our board. Donghao has served as our CFO since 2011. In the past 9 years, he made significant contribution to our transformation from the private held company into the public listed company. We have helped the company build a solid finance team with effective internal control systems in our IPO. On behalf of us at Vipshop, I would like to thank Donghao for his leadership, professionalism, and strong work ethic. I wish him best of luck with his future endeavors. We have already started to search process for a new CFO.
Thanks, Eric. Hello, everyone. As Eric noted, I will be stepping down from the CFO position in November for personal reasons. After we report results for the third quarter, I would like to open up by saying that it has truly been an honor to be able to serve as VIPshop's CFO and grow with the company in the past 9 years. I have made many trusted friends along the way and will always cherish the experience we had together. I would like to thank Eric, Arthur, and other colleagues for their support and friendship along this journey. I look forward to continuing to serve the company in the capacity of a non-executive director of the board. I trust that the company is well positioned to further fortify its leading position in China's discount retail market and have full confidence in Eric, Arthur, and the team to continue to deliver outstanding results going forward. Turning to our results for the second quarter of 2020, we delivered solid top-line growth coupled with year-over-year improvement in profitability this quarter. Specifically, non-GAAP net income attributable to VIPshop shareholders increased by 24.3% year-over-year to 1.3 billion from 1.1 billion in the prior year period. Our non-GAAP net margin attributable to VIPshop shareholders increased to 5.5% from 4.7% in the prior year period, despite aggressive reinvestment in coupons and marketing expenses related to this year's June promotional campaign. We were able to achieve these solid results because of our focus on optimizing our product assortment and providing our customers with superior customer experience. In the second quarter, GMV contribution from apparel-related categories increased to 69% from 63% in the prior year period, and GMV contribution from our Fengqiang and Kuaiqiang channels reached 50% of our online GMV. Going forward, we will continue to balance our top-line growth and profitability, aiming to grow as fast as possible while keeping our margins at a healthy level. We're confident that as China's leading discount retailer, we can continue to expand our market share and to generate sustainable value creation for all of our shareholders. Now, moving on to our quarterly financial highlights. Before I get started, I would like to clarify that all the financial numbers presented today are in RMB amounts, and all the percentage changes refer to year-over-year changes unless otherwise noted. Total net revenue for the second quarter of 2020 increased by 6% year-over-year to 24.1 billion from 22.7 billion in the prior year period, primarily driven by the growth in the number of total active customers. Gross profit for the second quarter of 2020 was 4.9 billion as compared with 5.1 billion in the prior year period. Gross margin was 20.5% as compared with 22.4% in the prior year period, primarily attributable to our strategy to reinvest into discounts and coupons during this year's June promotional event. Total operating expenses for the second quarter of 2020 decreased to 3.8 billion from 4.2 billion in the prior year period. As a percentage of total net revenue, total operating expenses decreased to 15.8% from 18.5% in the prior year period. Fulfillment expenses for the second quarter of 2020 decreased to 1.7 billion from 2.2 billion in the prior year period. As a percentage of total net revenue, fulfillment expenses decreased to 7% from 9.7% in the prior year period, primarily attributable to the change in fulfillment logistics arrangement. Marketing expenses for the second quarter of 2020 were 1 billion as compared with 877.6 million in the prior year period. As a percentage of total net revenue, marketing expenses were 4.3% as compared with 3.9% in the prior year period. Technology and content expenses for the second quarter of 2020 decreased to 305.4 million from 422.3 million in the prior year period. As a percentage of total net revenue, technology and content expenses decreased to 1.3% from 1.9% in the prior year period. General and administrative expenses for the second quarter of 2020 were 804.6 million as compared with 706.3 million in the prior year period. As a percentage of total net revenue, general and administrative expenses were 3.3% as compared with 3.1% in the prior year period. Our income from operations for the second quarter of 2020 increased by 28.4% year-over-year to 1.2 billion from 965.4 million in the prior year period. Operating margin increased to 5.1% from 4.2% in the prior year period. Non-GAAP income from operations, which excluded share-based compensation expenses and amortization of intangible assets resulting from business acquisitions, increased by 27.1% year-over-year to 1.5 billion from 1.2 billion in the prior year period. Non-GAAP operating income margin increased to 6.2% from 5.2% in the prior year period. Our net income attributable to VIPshop shareholders for the second quarter of 2020 increased by 88.9% year-over-year to 1.5 billion from 813.5 million in the prior year period. Net margin attributable to VIPshop shareholders increased to 6.4% from 3.6% in the prior year period. Net income attributable to VIPshop shareholders per diluted ADS increased to 2.24 RMB from 1.21 RMB in the prior year period. Non-GAAP net income attributable to VIPshop shareholders, which excluded share-based compensation expenses, amortization of intangible assets resulting from business acquisitions, tax effect of amortization of intangible assets resulting from business acquisitions, investment gain and revaluation of investments, excluding dividends, tax effect of investment gain and revaluation of investments, excluding dividends, and share of loss in the investment of limited partnership that is accounted for as an equity method investee increased by 24.3% to 1.3 billion from 1.1 billion in the prior year period. Non-GAAP net margin attributable to VIPshop shareholders increased to 5.5% from 4.7% in the prior year period. Non-GAAP net income attributable to VIPshop shareholders per diluted ADS increased to 1.92 RMB from 1.58 RMB in the prior year period. As of June 30th, 2020, our company has cash and cash equivalents and restricted cash of 8.1 billion and short-term investments of 5.9 billion. From the second quarter of 2020, net cash from operating activities was 5.1 billion. Looking at our business outlook for the third quarter of 2020, we expect our total net revenue to be between 20.6 billion RMB and 21.6 billion RMB, representing a year-over-year growth rate of approximately 5% to 10%. These forecasts reflect our current and preliminary view on the market and operational conditions, which is subject to change. With that, I would now like to open the call to Q&A.
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press star followed by 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your name to be announced. Kindly note, you can ask just one question per person so that we can give a chance to everybody else. We have the first question coming from Alicia Yap from Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Eric, Donghao, Jessie. Thanks for taking my question. And thank you, Donghao, for your service and best wishes to you. So my question is related to the sell-through rate. So I remember in the past, management noted that the sell-through rate for most of the flash sales merchandise is about 50%. So wonder if there has been any change on the sell-through rate now, any different by the product category. Can you also remind us the rough percentage of the merchandise that are currently stored or utilize our warehouse versus those that you have to ship back to the suppliers after the sales end? Thank you.
沈总 ，Alicia 这个问题是问我们的那个售罄率。咱们以前说过售罄率超过50%，然后他想知道现在大概是一个什么样的售罄率，然后是不是不同品类有不同的售罄率。然后第二个问题就是问大进大出现在的一个占比。
我们现在因为很少提售罄率了，因为我们现在除了我们买断的商品，那么我们其实等于都是接了系统在卖嘛，所以其实品牌今天可能接了系统，今天有5000万的货，1个亿的货，所以说理论上我们就因为不入到我们的仓，所以就不用记那个叫售罄率。
So Alicia, we no longer actually track the sell-through rate as closely, given that we are largely connected with the inventory systems of our suppliers, and our logistics model has changed from before the fast in fast out to JIT and JITX. So the just-in-time model and the single supplier order shipping directly from the supplier's warehouse to the end consumer model. And therefore, except for the products that we purchase outright, we no longer have the concept of the sell-through rate. And regarding your question on fast in fast out, that's a very small percentage because the majority of our products are now in JIT and JITX.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Thomas Chong from Jefferies. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thanks, management, for taking my questions. I have a question about the business trend in the month of July and August. Can you comment about how the GMV is trending and our expectations in terms of the user and the GMV in the second half? We noticed that in Q2, the quarterly net add is quite solid. Just want to see how we should think about the second half outlook. And then a very quick question is about the competitive landscape and our thoughts on live streaming online shopping. Thank you.
沈总 ，Thomas 问2个问题。第一个是我们7、8月看到的一个趋势，比如说 GMV 的一个趋势，还有就是我们对后半年 GMV 的一个GMV 和用户增长的一个预期。
总体7、8月，因为虽然是电商的淡季啊，但是因为是新冠疫情嘛，其实线上还是有红利的，所以整体我们看7、8月的发展不错。那么我们预测到，其实在今年的下半年是 Q4 的阶段啊，那么我们说是其实电商是更旺的一个季节，因为那时候我们相信还是有疫情。那么另外呢，就是线上大量的人就开始做促销，吸引眼球，鼓励大家多买，而且呢，冬天的客单价又很高嘛，所以说其实每个 Q4 都是电商们特别注重都要抢市场份额的一个季节。
So Thomas, after COVID-19 impact, we still saw quite positive trends in July and August, given that more people are moving online to make their purchases as opposed to before. Therefore, we've seen quite positive trends. But the third quarter is traditionally a light season without promotional events, and is also a light season for the apparel category. We have higher and better expectations for the fourth quarter, where apparel ticket sizes are much larger, and ticket sizes as well as the promotional events in the fourth quarter that we will run, as well as industry-wide promotional events to gain market share. So we are quite positive about the second half outlook. 然后沈总他的第二个问题是问我们的那个对竞争的一个看法，还有视频直播这些东西的一个看法。
那么竞争其实疫情后，那么我们说的那个其实大量的品牌，尤其是我们的服装品牌，大量的库存，所以说那个就是我们其实也看到各种渠道也都在抢。那接下来就是拼谁的销售能力强，那么谁有这个专长能把这些库存能够尽快的卖掉，那么给现金给到我们的供应商。刚刚问那个Thomas 另外一个问题就关于视频直播嘛，对，视频直播其实我们在尝试，但是呢不是我们现在尝试了大概将近有4个多月吧，那么收到一些成效，但是呢我们说视频这边我们还要继续探索。我们目前看到整个直播带来的销售，那么给我们的那个量不大，目前看到是这样，但是我们在持续探索。
So Thomas, regarding your second question on competition and our views on live streaming, after the COVID-19 outbreak, there is a lot more inventory in the market as compared to before. And a lot of brands are looking to expand channels, including brands that didn't work with us that are now working with us. So the key is which channels can monetize the inventory for the brands more efficiently, and therefore we will also be executing on our merchandising strategy to gain share. Regarding your question on live streaming, we've tried live streaming e-commerce for about 4 months now. We've seen some positive trends. We're still in the early stage to explore this concept, and we will continue to explore different formats, for example, short videos and live streaming.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Binnie Wong from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, management. Hi, Donghao. So sorry to see you go. It has been a great pleasure to work with you for all these years. The question here is that if we look at the gross margin, it seems to be slightly lower on a Y-on-Y basis, about 2 points lower. I'm just wondering any category mix change. And then if you look at the marketing cost ratio, it seems to be quite high, since basically higher since 3Q18 to around like 4% so. So how do we see the full year sales and marketing cost ratio should trend? And then if we can understand better in terms of sales and marketing, how much of that is related more as to user acquisition, how much is it related to couponing, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks, Binnie. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I've been with the company for 9 years, and I really love this company. But I think it's probably the right time for me to move on. But as I will be stepping down as the CFO of the company, I think at the same time, I will be appointed as a new non-executive board director, and in that capacity, and I will still be doing my best to try to contribute to the prosperity and growth and of Vipshop. So no need to worry about that. So back to your question about the business. So gross margin, yes, you're right. On year-over-year basis, gross margin for Q2 was like about 2 percentage points lower than Q2 last year. And the reason behind that is because, if you look at our operating expenses, total operating expenses as a percent of revenue, it was down by 2.7% compared to Q2 last year. So our strategy is to try to grow the company as fast as possible while maintaining a healthy margin level. So now that we are able to save costs and drive down the operating expenses as a percent of revenue, we want to use some of that savings, to reinvest in the top line growth of the company. So one of the things that we did was to offer more coupons, rebate, and discounts to our customers to drive first top line growth, and second, new customer and total customer growth. So if you look at our customer growth in the past Q2 this year, it was like 70% year-over-year, which was quite impressive. And marketing, yes, you're right. And marketing expenses as percent of revenue went up slightly in Q2, partly because in Q1, due to the coronavirus pandemic crisis, we made a decision not to spend too much on marketing. But since early May, we saw the market was quickly recovering. The demand was coming back very fast. So we decided, all right, it's probably the time for us to spend on marketing again to drive traffic, customer growth, and eventually top line growth. And for this whole year, we do not expect the marketing expenses as percent of revenue to be significantly higher than last year. It will probably be slightly higher, but not significantly higher. Again, so the overall strategy is to grow as fast as possible while maintaining a healthy margin level.
And to add to the last bit, our marketing expenses are all customer acquisition, whereas the coupons and the discounts are accounted for in our gross margin. So it's separate.
And thank you, Donghao and Jessie. So is that the reason also why gross margin has been trending down a bit, because that we have also been giving out more coupons? Or is it by any reason for category mix?
For what? I'm sorry, Binny?
Sorry. Hi, Donghao. Sorry, I was just thinking that is that also the gross margin trending down, like around 2 percentage points lower than last year? Is it also because of like the coupons, or is it because of category mix change?
What change? Category change. All right. Okay. So for this past Q1, I think the main reason for the decline, of our gross margin was a change in our category mix. But for Q2, I think it was mostly because of our reinvestment efforts, to provide more coupons and discounts to our customers.
Thank you, sir. We have the next question from the line of Joyce Chu from Bank of America. Please go ahead.
Thanks, management. Congrats on the solid result this quarter, and Donghao, thanks for all your efforts and help. Yes, my question is actually regarding the user growth and also the sales marketing. For the user growth this quarter, we have seen the user growth actually re-accelerate from the 1Q, and the growth rate is actually similar to the second half last year. Just want to just make sure the company will continue to invest in this front, and should we expect a user growth like similar to this quarter's growth rate? Because we know this quarter we have like big promotions, and industry-wise the user growth seems like all pretty strong. Should we expect seasonality in user growth as well, or we believe this will be more consistent? And the second question is, we currently actually seeing Vipshop doing a lot of like branding marketing, like advertising on like Hunan TV, or like sponsor a lot of TV shows. May we have a breakdown for our sales marketing, like what percentage of them are actually doing the branding, what percentage of them is actually using as online acquisition for traffic? Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Joyce. 沈总，Joyce 这个问题主要是问我们市场费用和用户增长这边的一些趋势。他看到我们2季度用户的增长已经到了17%年对年，就是回到了去年后半年的这样的一个增速。那他想问一下我们对今年后半年的一个用户增长的预期。2季度是不是因为有这个促销还比较高，后半年会比如说3季度淡季会更低还是更高的大概的一个预期？
对，那么我们其实今年在市场方面上投入尤其是我们在 Q2 的，我们是其实在4月底才开始 那么大量要投钱，因为我们也预测到，其实中国的那个新冠病毒嘛，那么其实很多人还是待在家里，所以说我们其实一方面要继续做我们的精准营销，那么另一方面我们大量投资在那种电视剧啊、综艺节目上，因为我们相信大家很多人还在家里看这种拿着 iPad 看或者在电视里看，所以说这块呢我们投入以后，其实发现效果都不错。那么包括我们看到，其实我们现在新客增长蛮好，还有的呢，我们其实也大量花了钱去唤醒我们的老客，不是原来一直在买的，就那个蛮早以前买，但是最近不常来或者不来的，类似这种。所以说我们总体的客户趋势都很好，我们相信我们这个用户增长的趋势会持续到今年，那么乃至明年后年。那么我们认为说，其实我们也要借这个机会，那么更多的投入，那么就是说在市场方面更多的投入，我们来驱动更多的用户来为品会购买，驱动我们的业绩增长。
So Joyce, regarding your question on the customer growth, we actually started to invest in marketing again towards the end of April because before April, due to the pandemic, we were quite cautious about investing into marketing. And after the situation had calmed in late April and early May, we started to invest heavily into both TV show endorsement as well as digital advertising. Because people were staying home a lot, watching TV on the iPad, we've seen quite positive results from the TV show endorsements as well. We actually saw pretty solid results in terms of both new customer acquisition as well as spending money in reactivating what we call old customers. So people who've shopped with us a long time ago that haven't really shopped with us in a while. And we've seen positive trends in both. In the back half, we will continue to invest into marketing, and we expect the customer growth trends to be positive going forward as well. 沈总他第二个问题是问我们那个市场投入里面多少是花在这种就是品牌营销，比如说是这个电视剧啊、综艺啊，多少是花在我们的这个新粉营销上面。
对，我们如果是看是总共 total 是3块钱的话，我们花2块钱在精准上面，1块钱在那个品牌上面。品牌上面就是说，因为投放但是有可能不会马上见到新客，那么但是随着持续的投入，那么或者说而且还会带动那个就是说可能第2次、第3次他会下载我们的 APP， 那么包括老客也会驱动，所以其实我们现在有一个很好的把握，在这个品牌的营销上面跟那个精准获客的投放比例上。
Joyce, regarding your second question on the division between targeted advertising and branding, if we were spending $3, then 2 of them would be spent on digital advertising, so very targeted, and then about $1 would be spent in terms of branding. The branding results show up slower, not as immediate, but we do see that it does remind a lot of new customers to download our app as well as old customers to revisit our platform. So we are actually quite happy with the distribution between the marketing budget right now.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Eddie Wong from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi, management. Thank you for taking my question and best wish to Donghao. So my question is about the brand inventory level. So I think you mentioned last time that you expected the inventory issue of brands will sustain to the end of this year. But if you look at the June and the July, apparel demand in China is actually quite strong, and we all understand that lots of platforms, including us, we are actually doing quite aggressive promotion during the June 18th period. So just want to understand that your view on the inventory issue sustain to the end of this year. Is there any changes in view, or you still kind of hold this view? Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie. 申总，艾丽这个问题是问库存的一个情况，就是我们之前是说我们觉得这个高库存的情况会持续到今年年底，但是呢，我们也看到在6、7月其实服装卖得非常好，所以这个会不会改变我们觉得这个高库存的情况会持续到今年年底这样的一个看法？
对库存的情况，我们认为是持续到明年年底，甚至在就是说今年、明年都会持续。那么我们其实，在合作中发现品牌还是有很多的库存，那么要我们帮忙清，包括我们最近我们原来这种2年以上的库存我们是不卖的，那么现在我们要把这种2年以上的库存都要拿过来，我们频道上开了个清仓频道，就是要让解决品牌的这种所有问题。所以我们认为说，在未来的时间啊，这个服装的库存还是个巨大问题。
Eddie, we are still seeing high inventory levels in the market, as a lot of brands are coming to us to monetize on their excess inventory. So we believe that this trend will continue into the second half of this year and into next year. For example, before we did not clear inventory that's over 2 years for our suppliers. But now that we've opened a inventory clearance channel on our platform to help our suppliers clear the older inventory as well. So we do believe that there's plenty of inventory in the market for us to clear in the coming years.
Thank you. Shall we move to the next question? The next question comes from Han-Jun Kim from Macquarie. Please go ahead.
Great. Thank you for the chance to ask a question. Can management just kind of help us understand perhaps the TAM for our business? And this is asked within the context of recognizing that, if we, within discounted retailing, I think our VIP.com kind of tends to focus a little bit more on premium mass segmentation. Our kind of Shanshan initiative will focus a little bit higher than that, and VIP Max a little bit lower than that. But the bulk of what I think investors or shareholders of VIP kind of get to see and monitor is really the premium mass segment, the premium mass segment effectively. So just trying, as we grow our user base, I don't know how you guys think about what the right number long term might be for you guys in terms of active user base. Thank you.
沈总，Han Jun这个问题是问咱们认为我们的这个市场可以有多大？就是我们现在在这个整个中国的折扣零售市场，我们认为是有多大？然后在这里面我们大概有个多大的比占？如果可以分得更细的话，比如说杉杉这种比较高端的一个市场和我们现在做的这种市场，大概咱们是一个什么样的看法？是对于我们未来的增长空间的一个
线上和线下都一起嘛。那就可以笼统的说一下，其实我们认为说我们是做折扣零售嘛。那么其实我们说的是消费者，那么他在网上购物，其实最喜欢的就是打折零售，那个就是有折扣。所以说我们理论上是说我们的用户其实理论上是蛮广的啊，我们自己毛估估，就是说我们讲的喜爱唯品会的这种打折商品的。我们认为说未来的话3个亿是有的。
So Han Jun, we are a discount retailer, and a lot of customers actually do like to buy things on discount, and therefore we believe that our customer base can be very wide. On a large picture, we believe that our addressable market can be as high as 300 million customers.
Yeah, and to add to that, we're not just any discount retailer. We are a discount retailer for brands. So this is what's unique about our business model. So we sell branded products at deep discounts to our customers. And the channel for our business, we believe, is very, very high. It's hard to imagine why anyone just wouldn't like to have a branded product at deep discount. So it's we think that the TAM is going to be really big. And also, if you look at the largest discount retailer in the world, TJX, for the North American market, the total population is over like 300 million, like 1/4 of the population size of China, but they do like $40 billion of sales a year. And VIP Shop this year, we only do like 1/3, like around 1/3 of that. So the growth potential for our business model and for VIP Shop, I think it's so huge.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from Jerry Liu from UBS.
Hey, thank you, management and Donghao. All the best in the future. I would like to go back to some of the earlier questions about competition. And my main question is, if we look at June, roughly, maybe June, July, May as well, when demand has started to recover, in this period, what does competition look like? Were there any areas that surprised to the more positive or more negatively, particularly promotions during the 618 shopping festival? Was that more intense or expected or less intense than you thought? And given all that, what should we expect for a Double 11 shopping festival this year? Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. 沈总 ，Jerry 这个问题是问竞争，就是咱们在5、6、7月其实看到疫情后的一个很快的一个复苏，然后很多平台都在帮这个品牌尽快的卖货。那他想问我们观察到这个竞争格局有没有任何的变化？有什么是咱们以前没有预期，然后后面在这个5、6、7月看到的一些趋势然后这个会不会影响我们对今年4季度，比如说双11、128的一个促销情况的一个判断？
那个竞争反正一直在持续各个平台卖折扣，那么基本上卖折扣，但是有些呢就是像我们一样也会有这种叫深度折扣的，所以说我们认为说疫情后的竞争会加剧，那么包括有更多的玩家加入，但是呢我们认为这市场是足够大这个市场足够大，另外呢就是看谁做得好，所以说我们认为说其实这个竞争格局从5月服装库存开始复苏以后到年底，反正一直大家是噼里啪啦的，大家都在抢，那么而且呢就是说生意其实也大家都不错，那么看谁抢得多。
So Jerry, regarding competition, we always see competition everywhere. It's always been quite fierce in the e-commerce space, and there's always more players entering. But we do believe that the market is big enough and continues to grow. And therefore, the key is for the different platforms to execute on their strategy and gain share and gain customers from their strategy and execution. So from that perspective, it's not just May through July, but rather that for the rest of this year and beyond, we expect different platforms to continue to find different ways to sell more products and gain more customers. And we, of course, will continue to actively work with our suppliers to monetize, help them monetize their inventory and execute on our merchandising strategy.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Veronica Shen from China Renaissance. Go ahead.
Hi, management. Thanks for taking my question and all the best to Donghao. Well, my question is regarding the ticket size, the order size. Since we have lowered the free shipping threshold for more than half a year, how should we anticipate the order size going forward? Will it stabilize at a certain level, or it will have a downtrend pressure? Thanks.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the 88 free shipping?
Yeah. And I'm thinking about the order size since we have lowered the free shipping threshold to 88 from 288. So I'm thinking about how should we anticipate the order size going forward?
Q2 的时候呢，就相对正常吧。那么加上我们说的我们自己的 Q2， 我们吸引了大量的新客跟那种叫老客进来，所以说我们整体的 UP 不算高。那么但是我们对这个倒不用担心，我们认为说在未来的话 Q3、Q4 的话，那么我们可以整个就是说客单价用户会低一些，但是呢，我们通过提高它的购买次数，会把它的整体的那个 UP 继续把它维持到原来的水平。
Veronica, after we've announced the lower free shipping threshold to 88 RMB, ticket size came down slightly, but also customers are buying more frequently. In the first quarter, the ARPU and ticket size trends were clouded by the COVID-19 impact, but since the second quarter, we've seen healthy trends. As we've acquired a lot of new customers as well as reactivated a lot of what we call old customers, they shop less frequently and buy less than very loyal existing customers, and therefore they drag down the average ARPU. But in the second half, we believe that we can continue to increase these customers' shopping frequency and increase ARPU over time as well.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Alex Yao. Please go ahead.
Thank you, management, for taking my question, and Donghao, best wishes to your next journey. I have a question regarding the user growth trend. What drove the 17% year-on-year growth of active customers, and what's your user acquisition strategy into second half? What are the financial investment you need to prepare for the new user growth in second half? Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. 先从 Alex 是问我们用户增长二季度不错，在17%年对年，然后他想问我们后半年就是用户增长是一个什么样的策略，然后大概在成本上会不会有什么其他的考量？大概花多少钱？
那么我们其实具体的花多少钱不能说啊，但是总体我们认为在下半年我们还是会加大市场费用的投放，那么但是我们会平衡好，就是说也不是乱花钱的。那么因为我们在 Q2 其实我们 Q2 只花了2个月，那么投放，那么其实也收到蛮好的效果，也转一些策略，所以说我们理论上还会持续。那么总体的趋势，我们的那个新客增长的趋势跟用户增长的趋势都很不错。那么比如说我们看到我们 Q2 增长了17%嘛，其实我们因为我们4月份那个就是说我们其实4月如果 Q2 是3个月的话，4月份我们的新客还是跌的，因为我们没投放，对吧？所以说总体我们看到未来的趋势只会好过 Q2。
So Alex, regarding user acquisition, in the second half, we will continue to increase marketing expenses as compared to the first half. In the second quarter, we've only actually invested into marketing expenses in May and June and did not invest in April. But we still see very positive user growth trends, and therefore we do expect that the second half trends should be better than what we see right now, given that our new customers actually decreased year over year in April.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Han Chung from KeyBanc Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for taking my question, and best wish to Donghao. So my first question would be, just want to follow up on the gross margin. So obviously we have some promotion and coupons stuff this quarter in the second quarter, and then I just wonder how should we think about the second half, especially the fourth quarter? Should we think about the promotion activity will be even stronger than second quarter? And then second question will be a broader question about the longer term outlook. So can management share your view on medium term growth outlook, for example, like say 2 to 3 years? Are we able to get back to the double-digit CAGR while continue to maintain a stable margin or even better margin profile? And to achieve that, what kind of strategy we need to do? And then just hope to hear some thoughts from the management team. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for the question. Well, as we said earlier, in our overall strategy is to grow our business as fast as possible while maintaining healthy margin level. Well, we do not provide any guidance for our Q3, Q4 growth margin. But what I can tell you is, as we continue to be able to save, on operating expenses such as fulfillment costs, we will be having room to provide more discount coupons, to drive top line growth and customer user growth. So that is our strategy. And 2 to 3 years forecast. Well, of course, we will be doing our best to drive our top line growth as fast as possible. And obviously, we will be very happy to see, if we can have like the double-digit growth, as you mentioned. But again, we do not provide guidance for top line growth beyond the next quarter, but we will do our best to achieve the fastest possible top line growth.
Thank you. We have our next question coming from the line of Tian Ho from TH Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, management, and best wishes to Donghao. So the question is on the product category mixture. So we started as focusing on apparels. So I wonder what's the current product mixture, and going forward, what are some other categories that management wants to add more weight to our product portfolio? So that's the number one question. Number two is regarding our technology and content expense. I see that item as a percentage of revenue is coming down. I wonder going forward how this line is going to look like. Thank you.
Thank you, Tian. 沈总呢，先后问2个问题。第一个就是我们的品类结构，我们主要是做这个服装，现在大概的一个品类是怎么看？就是一个品类的分布，然后咱们有没有什么新的品类是想要去做的？
那么我们其实主要的品类还是穿戴，其实就服饰。那么我们生意的超过70%都是服饰啊。那么我们其实认为唯品会的特长就是在这个领域怎么把它做深做透，而且呢，服饰这个领域市场足够大，所以说我们其实现阶段也不会说改品类，那么继续在目前这些品类做深。
So regarding your first question, Tian, our core capability lies in the wearable apparel-related categories, which contribute to over 70% of our GMV, and that's where our expertise is, especially in the merchandising side. Therefore, we will continue to expand our market share and grow our share in these core categories. We are not looking to enter any new categories aggressively at the moment. as we believe there is plenty of market share to gain and plenty to grow in the apparel category. 沈总，先第二个问题是问我们技术费用，其实有看到年对年的下降，他想问一下未来的技术费用的一个趋势，咱们是怎么看的？
对，技术费用我们等于其实都比较稳健啊，就没有什么这种叫特别大的花销，因为我们这个整个技术做了这么久了嘛，那么现在我们说大量在花精力在搞个性化，因为别的什么基础设施啊已经都比较完善了，所以说我们看到未来的话，技术费用那么理论上不会有太大的变化，如果要涨也可能只有涨一点点。
Regarding technology expenses, we expect it to be rather stable going forward as we have a very mature setup already, and we're investing incrementally a little more into personalization. But if technology expenses increases in the future, it would not be meaningful. It would be a very slight increase.
Thank you. We have the next one coming from the line of John Choi from Daiwa. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for taking my question and all the best wishes for you, Donghao. My first question is just quickly on your new user acquisition. I think can you kind of management give us color about the kind of the breakdown between lower tier cities and also if you could share with us some metrics for the past, I would say, couple quarters of the user spending behavior of these new users, including the old users that you mentioned. Are you seeing a nice gradual increase of the average spending? My second question is just a quick follow-up. I think on the prepared remarks, you guys mentioned that Fengqiang Kuaiqiang is now 50% of your overall GMV. As this continues to grow, how would this impact our gross margin? Thank you.
陈总，这样问两个问题，一个是想看看我们的新客是来自于哪些城市线，比如说更多是来自一线城市，然后还有就是他们的一个人均消费的一个趋势，是否每个季度看到有增加？
对，新客我们其实看到我们相对发展均衡啊，就1、2、3、4、5、6其实相对均衡，唯独就是像最近看，比如说我们说的4、5、6会稍微比原来多一些，但不是多很多。另外呢，我们看到新客的年龄也在持续降低，那么我们也看到就是新客的年龄层，包括我们说的90后到00后的这种也越来越多。那么刚刚还有问什么？
我先翻译这个。So new customers come from across the board, but lately we've noticed that slightly more come from Tier 4, Tier 5, and Tier 6 cities. And these customers are also younger on average, a lot of post-90s and post-2000. 还有问那个 ARPU 趋势。
那么整体的新客的 UP 趋势，那么一直以来都是这样，就是说他们新进来的时候买的时候不会贵的，那么但是随着他的在这边那个活跃，那么慢慢就会买越来越贵的东西。所以说我们其实看到他们的每次的订单的新客的持续的订单的他的那个客单价都会往上走。
Regarding the ARPU trend for new customers, it's always been the case that when new customers first come in, they will not spend a lot. But as they become more active and stickier to the platform, their ticket sizes and their shopping frequency will also improve. So we continue to see these healthy trends. 然后还有一个问题是问我们那个疯抢快抢达到50%的占比会不会影响毛利？
我们现在的正常的毛利因为比较稳定嘛，所以说疯抢快抢就是这个没有问题。
And the last question to answer your question regarding Fengqiang Kuaiqiang, these channels will not impact our gross margin. We plan our gross margin as a whole, and Fengqiang Kuaiqiang are not especially margin drag as compared to other platforms.
Yeah, that's right. To add to that, Fengqiang Kuaiqiang, the prices are really cheap, but our take rate aren't very much different from other channels, so it won't be too much. It won't be a drag on our gross margin.
Thank you. I would now like to hand the conference back to our host to take over now.
Thank you all for taking the time to join us today, and we look forward to speaking with you next quarter. So please keep in mind, next quarter it will still be me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our conference call today. Thank you all for your participation. You may disconnect your lines. Thank you to all.